Hello, welcome to Lunch with Lee. Today we're talking about that stubborn rust that you see on top of your fireplace. And a lot of times it's there even though you don't see it. But I want to show you quickly what I'm looking over the screen to my right. So I apologize if I'm not looking at the camera, but here we go. This is often what we see at the top of, this is a manufactured metal fireplace. So the top is metal. It may look like brick all the way down, but inside it is wood framing and a metal chimney that goes top to bottom. And if you can look here, I'll show you a couple design kind of flaws and whoever put this in. See if I can zoom in a little bit and kind of, but if you see right here, see where the brick kind of steps out right below the metal? What that does is the actual water comes off the top of the actual chimney and onto this brick ledge. So it's more likely to leak. And you can even see right here, that's either mold or caulking, but you can even see up here on this, it's called a chase top. That's standing water, which should not be. It should all run off. You can also see a seam in this chase top, which sometimes you can't get around, but a lot of times I would prefer there not to be a seam if we could all help it. You can even see, this is called a storm collar, right around in, right around in here. That storm collar, obviously is rusted, even inside this cap, right in here. Seeing a ton of rust. Means two things. Number one, this chase top, and let me zoom back out again, is not the best design thing in the world. It's made out of galvanized metal. And for people who don't know, galvanized metal is not actually a metal. It's a coating on top of the metal. So the galvanization is what keeps the fireplace from this chase top or this metal top from rusting. The problem with galvanization is the soot that comes out of the top of a chimney is very acidic. It has sulfur in it, so you combine that with human air or water and you get like a mild acid. That mild acid will eat galvanization off of chase tops. So often we'll recommend stainless, which is an actual metal. It doesn't have a coating, especially in our area where there's a lot of salt. I know in some other areas people get away with galvanized chase tops lasting a while, but in our area, quite honestly, with the salt, they don't last very long at all. Especially with the design flaws we see with low spots being right here. That water is going to sit. It's more likely going to leak. Even this top. Most people don't know these manufactured metal fireplaces. They're an appliance like a washer or a dryer. So they have a lifespan. Usually it's 20 to 25 years. You go down to the coast, sometimes you get as little as 10. And it really depends on the design of this top, the type of fireplace, how it's maintained. You can get a lot more years out of it if you maintain and you have correct designs. And we've kind of seen here some of the negatives of improper design, and we're really not going to get the proper life out of this chase top that you should. Even with stainless, you need to design it correctly. I'm going to go to another one. This is often a chase top we see, and this is what you see from the ground. That's why I wanted to show you this. From the ground, you're going to see all this staining. You've heard me talk about all the time that you got to look at colors. You got to look at staining. All this is probably mold. There's a little bit of red, so my guess is the top of this chase top is actually rusted. But you can see where the water's flowing down. That's not good for your siding. That's not good for anything. So what we'd always recommend is one, a stainless top, which is going to last a lot longer, especially in our environment, that has a more pronounced drip edge. This one doesn't have a kick at the bottom at all to keep water from rolling down the side. But what we do is we put a 2 to 3 inch drip edge all the way around like eaves on your house. So water does not roll down the sides of the siding or brick or stone or stucco, whatever's there. So you don't get this staining. And also the top needs to be sloped so the water doesn't sit there. I'm going to show you one more, and it's the results of improper design And also, there we go. Improper design, but this has just been going over a long period of time where you're seeing the wood rot out, and obviously this is more likely to leak. Also, look at the top of this chimney right in here. See all these holes? That could be for a lot of different reasons. They could have had a chimney fire, or it could just be age. Because once again, the caps, the chimneys of this type of fireplace do not last forever. You have to change them out, and they require maintenance. I've even seen it where the screening right around in here rusts through, and then you start to get critters. So critters, rain, dripping, more sounds, that's all signs that something's wrong. But if you look up and you see rotten wood, you see staining, you see rust, it's time to have someone come out and look at it. Because I can tell you for a fact that this chimney right here, when we went down into the actual fireplace, the whole inside of the fireplace was covered in rust as well. So it's time to replace. And what we want to do ideally is this chimney underneath here and the fireplace, we want to keep it nice and dry. That way it lasts its expected lifespan and even more if you can keep it dry and we can maintain it correctly. So if there's a little bit of rust or there's a little problem or there's a design flaw, like you're seeing these nails right here actually pop out. But this fireplace, because of the rusted, the rusted top, which is probably leaking, and the rotted wood is letting a lot of water in, which basically ended the life of this fireplace sooner than it should have been. Now, it was still an older fireplace, but in our experience, normally the fireplaces that look like this should not have been used a long time ago because they're covered in rust, they're caked in rust. And that's very typical of our market, which gets a lot of rain. We have a lot of salt. So these type fireplaces do not generally last the 25 to 30 years. They're a much shorter duration. And there's things we can do to make them last longer and change out parts so that you change out like the top of this cap. We change that out before it ends up the fireplace underneath it getting replaced. So it's very, very important to make sure that we maintain these fireplaces correctly. And homeowners from the ground, look up. If you see red, if you see rust, if you see staining or mold, that is not normal. I tell everybody, if you have trees that's kind of going on and you think it's just shade, call us. Let's make absolutely sure. We do free water leak assessments. So if you think it's leaking, give us a call. We'd be happy to come out. We'll evaluate what's going on. We'll educate you. We'll give you all your options so you can figure out exactly what you want. And we make decisions in your best interest so that you can get the most value out of your fireplace and you can use it with confidence. So that's it for today, but we're talking about chase tops and leaks. I guess anytime we talk about in our market, we get salt, we get water, we get leaks. So if you have this issue going on, please let us know. Or if you know anybody who may, please share this broadcast, whether you're on Twitter or you're on Facebook or you're on YouTube. Follow our channel, share it out. Make sure that people who might have this problem have this information. So whether you use us or someone else or in your different market, that we can get them help and they don't end up with expensive repairs that are premature. So thanks guys for today, and I will see you next